after that operation for torn stomach muscle. Presentations being made now, the presidents of the two football associations, Michael Hyland of the FAI and Bert Milichip of the Football Association. And there's the man of the moment, the most capped Republic of Ireland goalkeeper, Packy Boner from Keju in County Donegal, making his 48th appearance in the #1 jersey for Ireland, and so setting a new benchmark ahead of Alan Kelly, whose record stood for so long. Packy, an extremely proud man tonight. The Irish team being captained by Kevin Moran, who's in a distinctive headband because he has a wound in his forehead that has stitches inserted in it after a midweek match last week. But he decided against, on medical advice, having the stitches taken out because that might cause the wound to open up. Friendliness among the two managers. Now the turn of the England team and their captain Brian Robson introducing their new goalkeeper David Seaman. 5th appearance for the Arsenal man. And in the background I'm sure you can hear that magnificent chant, "You'll never beat the Irish." It's become something of a trademark, and certainly the current generation of England footballers must be feeling like that, because 3 meetings in 3 years they've never beaten the Irish. Defeat in Stuttgart, draw in Cagliari and draw in Lansdowne Road, and all to play for here. And the point well made that this is a match of vital importance to both sides. It's not quite a knockout, but it might as well be, given that there'll be so much ground to be made up by a team that loses here at Wembley tonight. And the Irish fans certainly are most confident of the outcome. So the official party of the two FA presidents and the British Minister for Sport, Mr. Robert Atkins MP, take their places, and now the national anthems. The best of voice, Aaron Levine, sung lustily by the sizable Irish contingent in the sellout crowd of 80,000. And now God save the Queen. The band has done its duty, the flags wave, the crowds acclaim, and the Irish head for the England end for their pre-match kickabout. No changes from the speculated lineups, as you've been hearing, despite the fact that the managers were playing psychological games with each other. They came up with these formations, and they were less than secrets by the time they became public. David Seaman getting the nod for his 5th international appearance in the England goal. Tony Adams coming back to partner Des Walker and Mark Wright at the heart of the defence. Brian Robson leading the side in his 89th international. And David Platt, 20 goals for Aston Villa this season. Could he be the man to repeat what he did at Lansdowne Road and get an England goal? Well, we would hope not. Packy Boner has a remarkable record to defend, 27 clean sheets in his 47 internationals. Kevin Moran captaining the side alongside David O'Leary at the back. Townsend and McGrath anchoring midfield, and up front Niall Quinn and John Aldridge. 12 goals between them. International strikers beginning to come on song. Kevin Sheedy just restored to the Everton team last weekend, fit enough to claim his place. Those are the substitutes. Jeff Thomas of Crystal Palace in contention for a place should a midfielder be required, and 19-year-old Lee Sharp getting his first taste of life in the senior squad. And the Republic of Ireland substitutes along expected lines. The atmosphere has been electric around Wembley Stadium for the past 3 hours or so. And that's the way it stands in the group. So vitally important, the points at stake here, and goal difference thanks to that 5-0 victory over Turkey, seeing the Irish to the top of the Group 7 table. So Ireland will be attacking the end where most of the Irish fans are populated in this first half. Kurt Roethlisberger from Switzerland, World Cup referee, is in charge of this European Championship fixture, and Gary Lineker sets it in motion. Dixon, and Quinn has won the first challenge. Adams is off with him, and Quinn holding off Tony Adams. The ball goes out. It's a throw to Ireland. In fact, a most encouraging beginning for the Irish. Steve Staunton to take the throw. Aimed, not surprisingly, for Quinn, didn't quite make it. Here's McGrath leaving it for Moran, but Dixon is there. So indications of the Irish pressure game evident for all to see in these opening minutes. Adams beating Quinn on that occasion. Barnes has gone straight to McGrath. Back again towards Quinn. Adams again the winner, but Sheedy's there to put pressure on him. And the whistle had sounded. The ball had gone out of play. David Seaman testing early moments for the Arsenal keeper. Headed away firmly by Adams. Again, straight to McGrath, who seems to be picking up everything loose in midfield. Moran. They're happy to see it out of play. John Barnes, 62nd international appearance, 10 goals to his credit. He really hasn't delivered on startling club form down the years. Dixon with the throw. Beardsley to mount the first England attack. Barnes coming in support. Dangerous run from John Barnes. The ball had not gone out of play. It's found Stuart Pearce. Robson. That was O'Leary got the leg in the way, and here's Dennis Irwin to thump it clear, and the danger averted. And Mark Wright with a plaster cast and a wrist in which he's got a broken bone sees it back to Seaman. But Barnes really fired up by this, obviously. On the point of signing a contract reputed to be worth £10,000 a week at Liverpool. Well, he's got to deliver that kind of performance for England sooner or later. That was Platt. Here's Wright. And now Dixon. Staunton got the touch on it. Throw to England. Brisk beginning. Stakes are high, and it's evident from the way both sides have gone at this game. Barnes. Dixon. Here's McGrath. And that's out again. Another throw. Dennis Irwin sticking close to Gary Lineker. Significant that Barnes is operating on the right flank and is not in direct opposition to Dennis Irwin. Dixon's throw for Beardsley. Back for Dixon. Staunton going with him. And the cross couldn't get past Sheedy. He wanted a handball, but it firmly struck him. Aldridge crowded out. Robson. And now Beardsley. Here comes Platt. It all got a little too intricate for the English themselves. David Platt, scorer of the opener in Dublin in November. Irwin. For a man noted for the accuracy of his crosses, that was not a particularly effective pass. That was Townsend. And then McGrath looking for Aldridge. Here's Houghton. Onto it comes Andy Townsend once more. Aldridge in there battling, and he's won it. For Irwin, hoisted to where Quinn might have been expected to be, but there was no one to put pressure on David Seaman. Now for the first time, Stuart Pearce. McGrath dispossessing it. They've got a bit of room here. Houghton inside. Looking instead for Andy Townsend. And England making a bit of a meal of clearing it. But clear it they do. Beardsley. Lineker had pulled himself into a more withdrawn position and wasn't there. But that testing moments for this England defence, packed with strength in the centre. And it was Paul McGrath whose determination dispossessed Stuart Pearce. Ireland's throw. Niall Quinn, so very much the target man now. White. Quinn wouldn't let it go. Throw to England. Five minutes on the clock. The Wembley scoreboard still showing no goals, but here's Barnes, still in play. That's for Pearce. Adams, Lineker bundled off it by David O'Leary. And a free kick to England. Robson rolled for Adams. John Barnes. Now he's facing Irwin for the first time. But what Irwin couldn't manage, Houghton effectively did. Throw to England. Pearce for Beardsley. No room for the cross. O'Leary was there, Houghton completing the clearance. Intent to fulfill the Jack Charlton dictum of play it in their half of the field. The ball sent forward as soon as possible. Pearce for England. O'Leary in ahead of Platt. Throw to England. And after the earlier Irish threat, England now posing the problems in this phase of the game. Nottingham Forest fullback, and noted for the length of the throw. Barnes with the flick on. Staunton had to be there to clear it. First moment of real danger, and a flick on from John Barnes opened up a hole in front of Packy Bonner's goal. Staunton had to be there to clear it. Throw to England results. Dixon takes. Sheedy and Pearce falling over. Dixon rather. But now it's Barnes. Little dummy from Lineker, and Irwin got there ahead of Pearce. Here's the throw again from Pearce. Watch Barnes here, lovely little delicate flick across the face of the goal, and Staunton was there to nick it away from David Platt. Great piece of defending. Beardsley dispossessed by O'Leary. Quinn, O'Leary, Aldridge on for Houghton. The burst through the middle is Townsend. Townsend stopped in his tracks by Tony Adams. And it was all tidied up by David Platt. Early release of Pearce. And that's for Tony Adams. And Pearce. And Des Walker. Lineker goes on the early run. Walker attempted to pick him out, but the pass went astray. Lineker quite obviously the main threat to the Irish defence. 39 international goals, second in the English all-time list. It's Robson. O'Leary with time. Touch of sloppiness there. Platt. Irwin was caught out. Here's Barnes. But Irwin did his job. Barnes with a quick throw. Pearce. Staunton not getting it away far enough. Dixon's shot. Oh, an own goal on Staunton. A disaster for Ireland after only 9 minutes. Always worth a try, and he'll claim it. But I think we'll see that if it hadn't taken the deflection off Steve Staunton, that would have been within Packy Bonner's reach. Poor header it was, really firmly struck, and Bonner, who had the angle covered, was not taking account of an error by the fullback. So, an error compounded by the Liverpool lad, and Ireland are a goal down after 9 minutes. His was the defensive header that was not effective, and Dixon made him pay. Well, they've been saying here that it was likely to be another door struggle unless one of the two got an early goal. We've got the early goal. It's gone in the wrong net from our point of view, but we could have a game on our hands now. Walker, and out of play. And lest you become too despondent, let me remind you that on the last two occasions that England and Ireland have met, Ireland have come back from a goal down. Throw looking for Quinn. Lineker. Townsend. Moran. Townsend again. Sheedy. Staunton in support. Let's put up towards Quinn. Now McGrath. And Staunton. And Wright taking no chances. Dixon's gone to retrieve it. Beardsley. Robson. Lineker. Robson feeling the weight of Ray Houghton's challenge. Townsend. Robson once more. Beardsley. And Platt's all right. Barnes going through the middle. That's for him, but a poor pass. O'Leary well able to tidy it up. Not the start they would have wanted. Here it is again. Oh yes, no question about it. That cannot be Lee Dixon's goal. Viciously deflected off the shin of Stephen Staunton. Right. Seven goals past the defence, which he was the chief marshal on Saturday for Liverpool. Doesn't appear to have affected his confidence for this big battle. Staunton's throw. Quinn coming towards McGrath. Robson got in ahead of him. Here's O'Leary. Sending the little dummy to Barnes. Dixon planting it in the path of Aldridge. Quinn. Aldridge once more. Nice support here. McGrath. Irwin on the outside. Houghton's gone too. He's not offside. Houghton's early cross has won the corner. Ireland's first corner after 13 minutes of the match. Kevin Sheedy to take it. Niall Quinn on the 6-yard line. Aldridge by the near post. Played instead for Ray Houghton. And the clearance effected by David Platt. In goes Staunton. Got it in behind Beardsley. Here comes McGrath. Beardsley able to find Seaman. Well, the Arsenal goalkeeper full of confidence this season. His team going so well, and he's been keeping clean sheets with amazing regularity, much to the delight of the Arsenal fans, but it's not the kind of news that we wanted to hear that he was in Chris Woods. Moore. Barnes. Beardsley. Showing it to Staunton, and then beating him. Lovely little ball inside to Dixon. And another fearsome shot from Lee Dixon. Well, that's the Graham Taylor game plan, isn't it? 3 defenders in the middle at the back to give the fullbacks the freedom to move forward. Beardsley played a beautiful ball into the path of Lee Dixon here. He got plenty of power into it, but it soared well over the top. Foul by the combination of Adams and Wright on Aldridge. Ireland's free kick. Kevin Moran to take. Then down for Sheedy. It's towards Houghton. And down for McGrath. Corner. Took a touch off the heel of Tony Adams. Ray Houghton makes the trot across to the corner flag, and in go the big fellas. Dave O'Leary's gone up on this occasion to the near post. Houghton with the corner. It's fallen from McGrath. Oh, he placed it so well. Here's Moran, denied by the upright. Paul McGrath, in attempting to pick his spot, did the sensible thing. It was cleared off the line, and Kevin Moran following up fairly rattled the Wembley woodwork. Ball coming from Ray Houghton's corner. Now watch here, McGrath picking his spot. Cleared off the line by Beardsley of all people, and then off the upright by Moran. It's not over yet. "16 minutes gone. England 1, Ireland 0. But the fight and the passion and the power very much in evidence. Another Irish free kick. In goes Quinn. Up goes Seaman. Clean catch. And now Lee Dixon. Moran seeing it well on its way to the penalty area, and safety with Paddy Bonar. He was telling me last night he hadn't conceded a goal for 8 matches. Well, one's gone in against them this evening. Could scarcely be down to him. Right. Challenge was from Ray Houghton. The throw to England is what results. Pierce and Lineker. Ireland's throw. Irwin. Quinn. And then Adams away. Now Beardsley for Dixon. Off goes Beardsley. Here comes McGrath. No need for any fancy footwork. An effective plant into row 10. Dixon to take this throw in for England. Got it back to Robson, cleared by Staunton. Up from there, Mr. Dixon. Back from Barnes. And once more. Platts laid down into the path of Beardsley. Lineker coming in, and O'Leary was aware of the danger. McGrath. And Staunton. And John Barnes came in to prevent him clearing it. David O'Leary keeping a very close eye on Gary Lineker, giving him nothing. Aldridge. Foul against Wright. A very important challenge that, to deny Gary Lineker, who had made one of those typical sniping runs of his. Free kick from Staunton. Goes Quinn. The backward header was too close to Seaman. Staunton out of Gary Lineker. Ireland's throw. The clock showing that 20 minutes are about to elapse. It's Quinn, Aldridge in chase. Back to the keeper once more. And there's the noise of the Irish support. Quinn now, laid into the path of Townsend. Townsend tackled by Pearce. It's Wright. Dixon. Sheedy back defending. Now Staunton. Quinn. Good control on the deck from Niall Quinn. Cleared by Des Walker. Sheedy. Houghton. Right the header away. In comes Townsend. Now Sheedy. Another high ball to test him. Right knocking it wide. And Dixon going to attempt to prevent the throw-in. And not succeeding. Ireland's ball. Townsend couldn't control it, but it's come to McGrath. On from Quinn. Wright. And Wright again. And Platt straight to Staunton. Looking for Quinn once more. Little lay down. Knocked away by Walker. And certainly the aerial bombardment is asking questions of the England defence. Ireland's throw. Irwin. Platt. And nearly making a present of it to his Aston Villa teammate. And now Moran. Sheedy. Quinn. Wright got in ahead of him. McGrath once more. Off goes Aldridge. Up goes Quinn. Knocked out again by Walker. In comes McGrath. Sheedy. Wright. Sheedy once more. Now Townsend. Phenomenal Irish pressure. Walker away once more. Staunton. Townsend. Quinn couldn't quite get there. Platt. In comes Irwin. And made it his. McGrath. Houghton. This really is an astonishing period of Irish pressure. Houghton once more. Sheedy. And hoofed away by Wright. And it'll come back again. Staunton. Quinn. Up goes McGrath. Quinn once more. Barnes getting it away. To be retrieved by O'Leary. And dispatched once again into the England penalty area. Up goes Quinn once more. Houghton couldn't quite make it. Robson getting it away. But Moran has it. Lineker was offside. Play on, says the referee. Quinn was knocked. Free kick on the edge of the box. Obstruction. But that really was an astonishing period of 2 minutes of concerted Irish pressure. And in fact, Jack Charlton's reaction will have told you that the free kick was given against Niall Quinn for backing into the player when it seemed that he was the one who had been impeded. Time to get the breath back after that, but sadly from an Irish point of view, no goal resulted. The atmosphere had built right up before the game, and we really haven't been let down by what we've seen. Whatever they say about Cagliari and Lansdowne Road, this is going to be remembered. crowd couldn't take time to sing, there was so much action. And Graham Taylor knows his team is in a match and a half. Foul against the Englishman for impeding Ray Houghton. And that Englishman was John Barnes. Now here's Aldridge against Walker, and another free kick to Ireland. And the number of free kicks England are giving away, indicative of the pressure they're being put under. So another aerial assault to be launched, courtesy of the boot of Dennis Irwin. Rather more firmly driven than he's used to doing. Lineker, Barnes, oh, they get pulled a bit out of shape here. Beardsley, Platt coming to support him, played into the path of Lineker. And now Barnes and Bonner showing clean hands. Good English attack, but in truth it was a counter-attack, wasn't it? Ireland a goal down, but carrying the game to England. And Houghton to take the throw. Quinn. McGrath deceived himself. It's Robson. And McGrath fouled him. And that's a card for Paul McGrath. It was unquestionably a deliberate trip. The England captain down, and Paul McGrath booked. And the replay will confirm that. He had deceived himself, Paul. He lost his position as mouse for just that moment and was unable to retrieve the situation by fair means, so adopted to the foul. That's gone off the head of Stuart Pearce and is behind for a goal kick to Ireland. Rob's at least able to smile. On by McGrath, bounced off Quinn. Platt hustled out of it by Houghton. O'Leary, and off goes Quinn again. Pearce. And offside against Gary Lineker. Well, the free kick relieving pressure on Ireland and offering Quinn the chance to get into the action again. Ray Houghton against Stuart Pearce. Pearce diving in with a tackle. In fact, it was Andy Townsend. And Ireland's throw. This is Ray Houghton. McGrath. In goes Quinn. Yes, it's there! A goal taken with the supreme confidence of a striker who knows he's in form. And wasn't there something altogether inevitable about it? 5 minutes of concerted Irish pressure, interrupted by only one English attack. Then back they came again, Houghton lofting it in. The defence got it all wrong, and Quinn slid it delightfully home for his 7th international goal. 27 minutes gone, and Niall Quinn ties it up at 1-1, and that is no more than Ireland deserved. The move to Manchester City has revitalised him. 3 goals on the ice in Wrexham convinced him that he was an international number 9, and he's proven it again on the biggest stage of all. And what a change for Niall Quinn. The last time he was at Wembley for an Ireland international in 1985, he had to walk because the underground broke down. He came with a coach tonight, and he's wrapped it up with an outstanding goal. England won, Ireland won, and there are now 29 minutes gone. Played in for Barnes. And that was Quinn back defending. usual warm-up routine of the substitutes to keep themselves loose. The rest should be required at any moment. The referee getting in the way. O'Leary finding it difficult to extract himself, but now Sheedy. He expected Houghton to be out wide, but he wasn't. And it's Barnes. Now Sheedy. Aldridge. And back it goes to Irwin. Aldridge. Sheedy. And Pearce clearing, but only as far as O'Leary. McGrath got in the way of it there. O'Leary won it back. What a great game he is having, David O'Leary. Up goes Quinn. Adams presents it to Sheedy. Eventually there in the right place to make up for the error. Dixon to Beardsley. Beardsley again. Robson. And O'Leary will see that back to Packy Warner. But another point you might like to consider about that goal from Niall Quinn. It's the first championship goal to be conceded by England at this venue since 1983. And if you'd like to consider something else, I'll offer it to you when this attack has ceased. In goes Sheedy, no foul. And Beardsley comes away. Lineker in chase. O'Leary to see it back to Bonner. Yes, that goal that was scored in 1983, the last championship goal, was by Alan Simonsen from the penalty spot for Denmark. It beat England 1-0 and helped put them out of the European Championship and sent Denmark to the finals. A long way to run here at Wembley. 31 minutes gone. 1-1. Here's Sheedy. Barnes. Back it goes to Pearce. O'Leary. Robson. This is the time that England will want to impose themselves in the game and play it at their kind of pace. But they took 5 minutes of a hammering and had to cede a goal. Here's McGrath. Townsend. Houghton. And he's round his man, Tony Adams. Houghton's cross. And Seaman having to be acrobatic at the back post. Quinn wasn't in the middle on a rare occasion. Aldridge had to make himself the target man. And Ray Houghton relishing the joust with Tony Adams and coming off the better on that occasion. And was that a foul on Kevin Sheedy? Mark Wright, the transgressor, in Irish eyes, but not in those of the referee. Moran. Now Pearce. Moran again. Sheedy and Staunton. Right against Quinn. Assistance from Lee Dixon. And another indication that they would rather cool it all down. Barnes. Adams. O'Leary against Lineker. It's come for Barnes. John Barnes in one of his mazy dribbles, but you don't get anywhere going across the pitch. Here's O'Leary again. It's more by way of a relieving operation. Pearce. Barnes has got in behind his marker, Dennis Irwin, not in position. It's Houghton who's the marker there. But Dennis Irwin wasn't missed. But he did seem to have got himself sucked into an offensive position that Barnes was able to exploit in terms of the gap behind him. Robson. Was good play, though, by Ray Houghton to cover the error. Dangerous one, in goes Bonner, and he made that stop at the feet of Brian Robson. Very teasing ball. The keeper had to be decisive and act, and that he did. Adams, Stuart Pearce. Adams again. Those are Irish boos. But it's an indication of the threat that England perceive, that they're indulging in that kind of tactic in the effort to play the game at their own pace. Townsend. Now Lee Dixon. And all the results is a throw to Ireland. Staunton. Quinn laid into the path of McGrath. Here's Paul McGrath. And Robson had a go at him, and in came Pearce just to finish it off. And Robson mindful of the challenge that McGrath had put in on him a matter of minutes ago. Well, it's been a measure of the quality of the entertainment, the edge-of-the-seat nature of it all. 35 minutes have elapsed, and they've really flown by. Irwin against Barnes here. Foul, or a corner, is it? Well, a corner is the decision, which is the first that England have won after 36.5 minutes of the contest. I think there's a message in that. Beardsley to take this. Robson. Tony Adams was in there putting pressure on. Lineker had the chance, but they're giving him nothing. Gary Lineker, who scored his first international goal against Ireland at this venue 6 years ago. And this was the goalkeeper he beat on that night, so Packy has a score to settle, and up to this point against Gary Lineker he's been successful. Quinn, lovely flick on. He really is a menace in the air. Ray Houghton. That was right to get it away. Staunton. McGrath. Aldridge, in goes Sheedy. What an important block that was by Mark Wright. Beardsley for Barnes. Back to Beardsley again. And it's loosely played to Moran. But Kevin Sheedy was so unfortunate there. In the face of a man, I should think, with a worry or two. It certainly looks that way. Ireland's throw. Wright was the man who denied Kevin Sheedy. Now Quinn, corner. Another Irish corner. And up goes Kevin Moran. Quinn is obviously there too, so is O'Leary, as you see, number 4, far post, or near post as far as the corner is concerned. Sheedy taking it, headed out only as far as McGrath. Houghton drilling it in. Platt. But Irwin's there, and a good sensible ball for Sheedy, who stayed onside. Looking for Quinn. That came off the head of Des Walker, and Seaman had to look sharpish to get out and claim that ball. 3 centre halves it's taken to mark him. Walker. Flat. And now Lineker. Rebounding from Moran, here's Beardsley. Easy for Moran. That's come to Robson. Beardsley. Staunton managed to just prevent it getting past him and then won the throw off Peter Beardsley. That's Sheedy thumping it forward. Townsend in ahead of Robson. McGrath. And out off Pearce. Throw to Ireland. There are 5 minutes of the first half still to play. It's England 1, Ireland 1 at Wembley. The third successive occasion that Ireland have come back from a 1-goal deficit against the England. Can they go all the way this time and win it? Houghton. And scampering away in the style of the Ray Houghton of old. And Mark Wright had to come across to put it out of play. And it's Ireland's throw. Houghton. Quinn. It's come to Robson. Now McGrath. Walker. Another Irish throw. The statistics about this match are going to make for very, very interesting reading. But I don't think there can be any question that while England may have looked threatening in front of the Irish goal, they've looked it on few enough occasions. The pressure has been by and large from Ireland. And here is another throw. Quinn. Barnes found no way through. Here's McGrath. Now Pearce. In goes McGrath again. And the throw is to England. Andy Townsend in a direct head-to-head with David Platt in the middle of the pitch. Now Wright. Moore. Lineker. And Moran emerging victorious. Houghton offside against John Aldridge. And a rare enough offside against an Irish front player. Tony Adams. Beardsley. That should be Staunton's. He tried to make the angle to make more use of the clearance, but he got it out of the danger zone. Jack Charlton splitting two Morrises, Setters on the left, Price on the right. And there are 2 minutes to go in this first half. Barnes. Moran away. And now Sheedy. And Aldridge. And taken on by Houghton. Townsend ahead of him. Houghton continues the run. Townsend returns it. Here goes Ray Houghton. Seaman makes the save. There's been some brilliant football played by Ireland here. And a teasing little ball played by Andy Townsend into the path of Ray Houghton. Seaman showing that he is a class act in goal. Now it's Pearce for Robson. Notice that it's Quinn who's there with him. The captain has won the free kick. And the first half moves into its final minute. Tony Adams moves into the box. Beardsley with it. McGrath, Houghton and Irwin between them, making sure it's cleared. Now Dixon. Quinn back defending. Pearce had a shot there and it rebounded from McGrath. Beardsley. Dixon, Lineker. Dixon again. Robson deceiving Moran, but Houghton was there to do the defender's job. And he too happy to put it out of play. But England ending the first half in Irish style, you could say, by putting constant pressure on. It now just depends how much time Herr Roethlisberger has to add for stoppages. Neither trainer has been on the pitch, but 45 minutes have now elapsed, and we're into stoppage time at the end of the half. Lee Dixon, Staunton away, Sheedy completing it, and that is the final action of the first half. An absorbing first half at one of the great Wembley occasions, and a great Irish performance to come back from the concession of that early goal, Steve Staunton's own goal after 9 minutes, deflecting Lee Dixon's shot. But back they came with a vengeance, and 5 minutes of pressure culminated in a most delightful side-footed equaliser from Niall Quinn. Half-time at Wembley, it's still alive, it's
full of courage and determination.
It was excellent performance, really, because they got off to a dreadful start. Losing a goal like that with Staunton getting a deflection into the back of the net. It was a dreadful start at Wembley, and England were looking good at that stage. But Ireland fought back extremely well, showed a great spirit, and in fact were the better team.
What impressed
overall.
you most?
Well, I think the spirit and the willingness to keep going, didn't get their heads down, put the pressure on England, kept it there, and took the goal extremely well.
All right, let's look at the England goal first, the women. That really was a desperate goal from our point of view, wasn't it?
It's very bad luck. Coming 9 minutes into the game, it's a killer. It gives them a little break for nothing. Steve Staunton might there got a shout from Kevin Sheedy to let the ball go, but once Dixon takes the shot, there's nothing Steve Staunton or Packy Bonner can do. If we see it again in replay, you might feel that Kevin Sheedy might have given Steve a shout to let it run, because there was no English player there. But that's quibbling, really. That's just a bad break. It happens. You see the cross here from Pearce. Now Kevin Sheedy's standing behind Steve there, and he might have given Steve a shout, but it's easy to say. I think probably in the circumstances, no one to blame. That's down to the bad fortune.
Yeah, it was a kind of a fluke, really, that would break your heart.
But we fought back magnificently, and the willingness to do it. There was a period in the match when we were 1-0 down, when it didn't look as if there was anything, and that's when we broke their hearts.
Did we actually break their nerve?
We broke their nerve and we broke their hearts, and Niall Quinn was principally responsible. He's had a magnificent half, but we broke them time after time. They couldn't get possession of the ball, and we came back at them and came back at them.
There was a marvellous period of about 5 minutes of pressure. Let's take an extract from that, because in your judgment, it revealed a great deal about the play of both
yes,
sides.
You see England, Platt gets possession of the ball here. Now England give it away. Look at that, a hopeless weak clears, which Kevin gets in, and you see Ireland here mount good pressure, but really not threatening. England get it again, give it back to Ireland. And John, I think, made the point while we were watching it, John. England kept getting the ball, kept giving it away.
Well, particularly Platt, you see. I think once you're under this type of pressure, with Ireland putting the pressure on, it's not good passing. It's just getting to the pitch of the ball and getting it over there, and Niall Quinn putting them under severe pressure. But you know, Ireland are doing well here, but England, you'll see, get possession of the ball, particularly Platt a couple of times. He's had it once already, and he gives it away. Now here he is again. Again, a dodgy ball.
But there's the great courage of Houghton getting in around that ball, or Irwin rather, and Houghton gets on it. But as John says, England have touched the ball 9 times in this clip. That's 10, that's 11. And they still haven't got possession. And as Ireland keep coming, now Ireland are 1-0 down at this stage, and this is where you really need to dig. And that's not skill, that's guts. And you see England, that's about 15 touches on the ball, and Ireland still come back at them. Now, it's about 5 minutes after this that Ireland score, but this stuff breaks your bloody heart if you're a defender.
Well, I think if you're a defender, you've got to go for the balls like that all the time. But once you see this again now, there's Platt again. See, once you get possession of the ball, good teams and good players get possession of the ball, and the only one way to kill pressure, and that's to keep possession of it. Whereas they give it back to the Irish team, and the Irish team is game as can be, back in all the time.
From a defender's point of view, an England defender's point of view, they've had 16 or 17 saves. They've stopped it 16 or 17 times, and it's come back as if it's off a bloody wall. Now, where are the forwards? Where's the midfield players? Who's helping them out?
Platt did have it twice, Evan, in great position. Right. Good, you know, Platt has a great name of being a world-class player, and he's a world-class player when he gets forward and gets in the box and gets on the end of things. But you would expect more from a midfield player in that position, because experienced players would say, look, next time I get the ball, I'm going to find a white shirt. And it's the only way to relieve the pressure. And they didn't do that, particularly Platt, on 2 occasions, and that changed the whole course
I
of the
don't
game.
think we've ever seen, though, Ireland embarking on such pressure again in any match, have we?
Absolutely magnificent response to the crowd, to their own pride as a team, to the manager, to the coach, to everything that's happened around the Irish team. This is what's built up now, this incredible hunger, and that's what broke them, because the goal, when it comes, that breaks guys' hearts. And there's a reaction to that.
Let's look at that goal. And John, this makes a point that you made before the game, doesn't it?
Again, on the 3 centre-backs, I don't think there's any need for it, but this is an excellent cross. This is Paul McGrath on the ball, and there's Quinn with all the centre-backs that they've got coming in, and beautiful finish, the inside of his left foot, knocking it past Seaman there. Beautifully taken goal. Shows the player confidence. Now, but watch the play now when we see it again, and see again the 3 centre-back business. If there's 2 centre-backs doing the job, there's no need for a 3rd centre-back. And when we do see it, I'll just try and point it out in the scratch pad. But a great goal. Now, from there, we just hold it there. Now, there's Walker. He's not marking anybody. There's Wright. Again, not really marking anybody. It's the big man to mark is Quinn. And if we just run it a little bit, and we just hold it there. Now, there's Niall Quinn coming in, getting a touch on the ball into the back of the net. And the nearest player to him is Adams. The nearest player, and he's given 2 yards. Which is really disgraceful defending, because there was no reason why Mark Wright there shouldn't have been back marking.
Were England at that stage demoralised, in a sense, by all the pressure, wave after wave of pressure?
I think they were punch drunk, but I think John's point is well made. You see, I think it is a question of tactics and it's a question of guts. Football isn't about either or, it's about both. And John has just given you a graphic illustration of the uselessness of playing 3 big fellas at the back.
But didn't we see, though, in the first half, examples of England coming very comfortably in a few passes right through the field and right through Ireland?
Very seldom, Bill. Very seldom. There's 1 or 2. Yeah. I mean, when you... There's only one way... Sorry, Eamon. No. There's only one way to play football when you get it, is to pass the ball, and that's the way you relieve the pressure. From Ireland's point of view, they kept the pressure on there, kept the pressure on all the time. And it's up to England to
can we keep it up in the second half, which is very important?
Well, the point is now, we will come out feeling very comfortable, I feel. They got a lucky goal, England. They made a couple of chances, but I think the dangerous pass for us, and I think now the people with problems are the English.
OK, we'll leave it there for the moment. We'll talk about some of the personalities, and let me remind you, after the break, that the Man of the Match competition I was telling you about earlier is, of course, very much in store today. Our prizes and all expenses paid weekend in London. For 2 tickets for Phantom of the Opera on the Friday night and the FA Cup final on the Saturday. And all you have to do is name the man of the match from tonight's game and phone one of the numbers you see on screen there, 03016 010 or 03021 010. And the lines are open until 6 o'clock on Sunday, and the cost per minute is 24p economy, 36 off peak and 48 peak.
Oh, my house, you get it for nothing.
We're going to leave it there, take a commercial break and be back shortly. Welcome back. 2 scores from European Championship games tonight. In Group 5, Belgium and Wales finished goal apiece. Greece for Belgium and Saunders for Wales, and Scotland and Bulgaria scoreless at half-time. And of course, Northern Ireland in Group 4 beaten by 4 goals to 1 by Yugoslavia. Let's return now to comment on tonight's game. The great performance tonight, John, from Ireland's point of view.
Well, I think Niall Quinn has been outstanding. Every ball that's been knocked up there, he's got on most of it. He took his goal brilliantly. I mean, it was a lovely finish. He made it look so easy. Yeah. And as we know, it took a lot of nerve to wait his time, glance at him with the inside of his left foot.
But the point has been made that his touch is improving all the time.
Oh, well, he's a very good player, Niall Quinn. And since he's gone to Manchester City and played regular football, first-team football, I think he's been the star so far of the team.
I think David O'Leary and Kevin Moran have been superb in the middle, in the back. They haven't really run us down the middle at all. Gary Lineker hasn't touched the ball. I think the lads in midfield too. Townsend and McGrath battled. You haven't seen Brian Robson.
And Houghton?
Houghton has done very well, really. I've been critical. I haven't thought he's played well in the last 12 or 18 months, but he's worked like a terrier. Obviously, pulling on the green shirt, to use that dreaded cliche, does him wonders. And for once, he went past Adams, hit a weak cross. I think he's gone to a certain extent as an attacking player, but he's, you know, when he played for Ireland, he's part of the team. And at this juncture, I would not like to...
Paul McGrath's been outstanding again.
Paul's been outstanding.
Indeed. We might indeed have been more than 1 goal, and we had certainly an example in the first half of McGrath and Moran both having good opportunities, both coming very close.
But it was from a corner kick that was played out to Paul, and he side-footed it. Beardsley hit it on the line, and then I think Kevin had the better chance, actually.
There's a replay coming up on this.
Yeah, because if you see Paul is trying to guide it into the net, maybe from behind the goals, with the inside of his right foot, probably to keep it on target. Whereas maybe could have given a blast with the outside of his right foot. But when the ball comes to Kevin, actually, Kevin is getting a clear shot. There's Paul getting it with the inside of his right foot. Now, Kevin is getting a clear shot on that. Really clear shot.
Dixon did well, actually. The defender did well. He attacked the ball as you have to in those situations.
I don't think he put him off there. I think Kevin got a clear shot. All Kevin had to do was actually keep that on the goals there. And I think if you were talking to Kevin now, he'd be a little bit disappointed that he didn't.
Yeah, Sheedy had a chance too, of course, in that first half.
Sheedy had a chance, and at the end, Ray Houghton made a run at them. They've looked very, very bare at the back at times. And on the whole, Ireland have gone through the worst experience you can go through, which is to lose a goal in 9 minutes. And now I think that...
We've just been told that Lee Sharp has come on for England. Now, what's the significance of that with his pace? And
desperation.
Really?
He's a young lad, he's a runner. He's not England quality at the moment. He could be. I think it's a sure sign that Graham Taylor's absolutely bankrupt.
I think England feel that they need to get somebody wide. Again, with the three centre-backs and the full-backs pushing in, Pearce has been their most wide player most of the time, and that's not his position. I think he's put him out there to stretch the Irish defence, get somebody wide. I don't think he's ready for it yet either, and I think that's a good move from Ireland's point of view.
They've also taken, we've just been told they've taken Adams off.
It shows you, it's remarkable, you know. For all the times I've criticised Jack Charlton, it shows you how difficult it is to be an international team. And here is a man having a small nervous breakdown, and he's only in the job 6 months.
All right, let's go back to Wembley to George Hamilton.
Welcome back. That's sensational news, obviously, that Lee Sharp is on for England, going to operate in a wide berth on the left. The England team has no longer Tony Adams in its ranks. That's the change. The back four has been restored. The back five has been dispensed with. And Lee Sharp, at 19 years of age, the Manchester United winger, makes his first England appearance. So the game plan for England is totally altered. No longer are they prepared to try and contain Ireland. They sacrifice defensive expediency and go for a little bit of inspiration. And they won the first free kick of the second half. And John Barnes will curl it in. Sheedy was not the requisite distance away. Another free kick, another chance, but of course it's the same free kick as the first one didn't count. John Barnes to take it again. Bonner shouts, Bonner claims. So the first opportunity of the second half for an Irish attack, launched from the boot of Pat Bonner. On from Townsend, Des Walker. And it's Lineker against O'Leary. O'Leary's a pacey defender too. And has the pace to counteract Gary Lineker's speed off the mark. So, if the first half ended all square, the psychological battle so far has been won by Jack Charlton. Of that there can be no doubt. Graham Taylor making a radical alteration to his playing formation at half-time. And there's Lee Sharp, the young Manchester United winger. Of course, he's up against his clubmate, Dennis Irwin. Aldridge was fouled by Des Walker. Ireland's free kick. And Aldridge goes to take up station in the penalty area. And O'Leary there too. Kevin Moran and Steve Staunton have stayed back. So everybody else except Sheedy and Houghton in or around the penalty area. Aldridge just putting himself onside. Here's Sheedy, headed out by Pearce. Retrieved by Sheedy. Played for Houghton. Pearce got there first again. Townsend couldn't quite control it. Beardsley and Barnes now to run at Staunton. And Staunton blocking his path, giving away the free kick. Barnes. And now Robson. Dispossessed by Sheedy. That's gone via deflection to Dixon. Platt couldn't control it. Won back by Sharp. Pearce. Beardsley. And Irwin in ahead of Sharp. Beardsley comes back to help the youngster. Des Walker. Right. Mark Wright again. Staunton in the way. And it was Sharp who went in on Bonner. But the goalkeeper was always favoured there. Well, the roar of excitement as Sharp is put into possession, and he faces Irwin. O'Leary comes across, and O'Leary makes sure he would not pass. Yes, the crowd, of course, delighted that they should see this exciting new talent in the white shirt of England, but it represents a gamble on the part of Graham Taylor. Bearing in mind the torment that Niall Quinn caused in the first half. And very nearly torment in the Irish area there. The shouts went wrong. Beardsley's cross, Moran getting it away. Aldridge and Sheedy completed the job. And here's Quinn, bundled off it by Wright. But this will be Irwin back to Bonner. Yes, bearing in mind what Niall Quinn achieved in the first half along with John Aldridge, it really is a gamble that Jack Charlton has forced on Graham Taylor, whose team was making no real headway at all. Interested spectator, England's all-time top scorer, Bobby Charlton. And the free kick is awarded against the English combination. O'Leary, Quinn for Sheedy. Sheedy goes down, but that, I think, was a foul by Sheedy more than a foul by Wright. And a free kick is England's reward. Barnes. Dixon. And the combination there of McGrath and Andy Townsend sees it out of play. Barnes giving it to Sheedy. Sheedy finding Niall Quinn. Aldridge up ahead. But that went straight to Wright. Walker. McGrath there. Right, the winner on that occasion. Moran. Offside, as Aldridge was retreating. Well, this is his first real test as an England manager. He had, of course, the game against Poland in the autumn, but he knows that this could well prove the hinge as far as the European Championship is concerned. The wrong results and the trapdoor could flip open underneath his team's chances. from right to Peter Shilton. I'll say he's enjoying it despite the expression of his face. Barnes, O'Leary's there to tidy up. Sounds like Lansdowne Road, doesn't it? That was McGrath, and now Houghton. And Moore. Quinn, laid into the path of Irwin. Good challenge by Lee Sharp. Kick, and that'll go back to Pat Ball. Pearce. There's Irwin. That'll be a throw to England. Pearce, throw. Seeking Beardsley. Cleared by O'Leary. Quinn. Did well. And Mark Wright came in to put it out of play. Ireland's throw. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Still 1-1 at Wembley. And now it really sounds like Lansdowne Road. Molly Malone is in time. To hear that and to see that, the Irish team must know that everybody believes they have the winning of this match tonight. Bonner swiftly out of his goal. That's a long way to go. But matches can be won in the mind as well. It has been an outstanding Irish performance so far. Quinn, Houghton. And he timed his pass superbly, sucking in the challengers. Now Staunton's cross. Back post, it's Quinn. Pearce puts it away. Corner Ireland. Quinn, bruised and battered as ever, a willing target man, but his has been one of the great performances on this night. Sheedy with the corner, up goes Quinn, Wright got there, Barnes completes the clearance out of the area, that is. Robson, and Robson was laid low by David O'Leary's challenge, or was it Kevin Moran? It's Moran as the Irish captain who's gone to check on the fitness of Brian Robson. And for the first time in this hard-fought, full-blooded contest, the trainer is called onto the pitch. Here's the challenge. It was Townsend against Platt. Then watch here as Robson, it was Moran, he did catch him. Last time he played here, he was sent off. FA Cup final 1985, the end of which Brian Robson, his captain, went up the 39 steps to be presented with the FA Cup. Tonight they're on differing sides, very much two sides of the coin, two captains together. Moran's team has been performing the better. Lovely play by Houghton, lovely turn. But not a lovely pass. Beardsley. Lineker, determined to stay onside, was wrong-footed. Hasn't been his night, has it? And for that, credit to Moran and O'Leary. And indeed to the rest of the Irish defence and midfield for cutting off the supply. Penalised there, hard to see why. Wants it played in the middle for him to run onto. Stuart Pearce attempts to put it in that sort of area. O'Leary gets it away, Platt returns it. Bonner calls and claims. The usual commanding shout from the Celtic keeper. Throw to Ireland. Staunton. Quinn. Aldridge. Here comes Sheedy. That wasn't too far away. That was not too far away at all. Kevin Sheedy, scorer of the equaliser in Cagliari, getting in behind the defence and firing the shot. Well, I think, in fairness, looking at the replay, it was probably covered by Seaman on his near post. The singing is Irish, the atmosphere is electric, it's astonishing really. And we might as well be in the capital of Ireland tonight. Quinn. Quinn again. Townsend had attempted to set off on a surprise run. And now Platt for England. Beardsley. Sharp. Lost his shin pad in the process. And England have very nearly lost possession. They got the throw. Robson. And a free kick against Dennis Irwin. Holding down Lee Shaw. So now the big man going forward to trouble the Irish defence. It's Beardsley. Headed out by Townsend. Offside anyway. Wouldn't have mattered. It must be a very long time that an England team has been so discomfited at its own patch. Graham Taylor spent a lot of his time with them in preparing for this fixture, in reminding them that Wembley was in fact their home ground. The sights and the sounds and the pressure would suggest that England were the visiting team. Quinn. Now it's Pearce. Oh, Beardsley's beaten Moran. Here's Lineker. Returned towards Robson. And we should be grateful that Paul McGrath has a fair turn of pace. Had that been Gary Lineker coming through the middle, it might have been a different story, but it wasn't. And the story is as it was, and it stays at 1-1 in the 18th minute of the second half. Beardsley for Robson. Offside. That was Gary Lineker, and that was offside. But in any event, Steve Staunton was there. What a performance. O'Leary with the free kick. The towering Quinn rises. Aldridge just hadn't enough length in his leg. Stuart Pearce. Houghton is with him. Now Robson, McGrath intercepting, there's something on here. But McGrath's pass, and he knows it was just that little bit hurried. It was 2-on-1 if he'd found either Aldridge or Quinn. And he knows he played it too hurriedly. Here's Moran, and that's back with Bonner. Pearce looking for Sharp. And Morgan lost his footing. Here's Lee Sharp with men to go for. And as he got the free kick, O'Leary adjudged to have fouled him. Well, for all the world, looked as though Lee Sharp was determined to try and run through him. See what you think. O'Leary, eyes on the ball. Sharp went into him with the shoulder. The referee saw that as a foul, not obstruction, a foul on David O'Leary's part. And it now falls to him to get the defence organised. But Sharp never looked as if he was going around O'Leary and ran straight into him. The Swiss gentleman in the black outfit is the man who makes the decisions out there, and he saw it as a foul. A worrying moment for Jack Charlton, because from these positions Pearce can fairly thump them. He's done it all season for Nottingham Forest. He's done it before for England. And he very nearly carried the head off Ray Houghton. Veteran now of 35 internationals, but although he caught it firmly, Houghton and the Irish wall held firm. England's corner. Beardsley, a little touch for Pearce. Beardsley again. And McGrath putting it behind. He's had a very good game playing just in front of the back four, Paul McGrath. He's off his head that this corner has come for England. David Platt and Brian Robson hoping for something. Beardsley with the corner. Robson, Staunton away. Dixon for Beardsley once more. Early cross knocked out by McGrath. Here's Sheedy for Houghton. And the throw won by Ray Houghton. 20 minutes of the second half have gone. Barnes, where's he been all night? McGrath. Determination took him past Pearce, but there's another challenge coming, and still McGrath's at his feet. He was unaware that two Englishmen were converging, but two lunges from Stuart Pearce weren't enough to put him down. I'd say he'll come into your consideration if you're going to make that phone call at the end of the match. Ireland's throw. Irwin. That was right. And England's throw to be taken by Pearce. Platt. Out off Quinn. Oh, dangerous ball here. Staunton got in the way, and Sheedy is there. And Sheedy was fouled as he attempted to clear it. It was Sharp, the guilty party. Sheedy was fouled. So a free kick to Ireland results. Beardsley, Lineker, Sharp and Staunton. Sharp got in ahead of him. But his determination to put himself in that position, well, it really deprived him of any semblance of control. Right. And it's another throw to Ireland. Midway through the second half. England 1, Republic of Ireland 1 at Wembley Stadium, where England haven't lost a competitive fixture since 1983. Push in the back by Sharp on Sheedy. Well, big Ian Wright there of Crystal Palace. Jeff Thomas, his clubmate. 2 of the 4 remaining England substitutes on the bench. One of them is Gary Stevens, a defender, and the final one, Chris Woods, the goalkeeper. Now, Dennis Irwin. Won by Walker. Sharp. Staunton for Sheedy. Stepped out of that lunge from Dixon rather nicely. The cross towards Aldridge. Wright is there, but so too was Andy Townsend. And that has produced an Irish corner. Tigerish tackling on Mark Wright, producing the corner. The Irish pressure beginning to mount again. And it was in this phase in the first half that they turned the screw sufficiently to claim a goal. Here's Ray Houghton now with the corner. Up goes Quinn. Goal kick. He's had a very good game, Niall Quinn. His height is a threat at all times, and he has great control, great skills close in too. Neil Dixon given no time to settle on that. Sheedy. In comes Townsend. Dixon hooping it away. McGrath. Walker. And McGrath once more. Houghton. Unable to bring it under control. Thumped clear by Pearce. I'd say at this stage, Graham Taylor, the England manager, would be grateful to get out of this with a draw. But still in our locker, we got Tony Cascarino. Foul by Walker and Robson on John Aldridge. And an Irish free kick. And I can tell you that Cascarino was peeling off the outer layers and will be making his entrance soon. O'Leary for Staunton. Has rolled towards Sheedy and Dixon has fallen, but it was a push by Sheedy. And that was why he fell. And now we have the opportunity for that substitution to be made. But the question that was about to be asked, who will he replace, has now been answered, because the number 10 is held up and John Aldridge makes way. The Real Sociedad striker, 11 Spanish League goals this season, but not coming near it tonight. Though a lot of unselfish running from Aldridge nonetheless. He leaves the scene of the action, or will do in a moment. And Cascarino will come on. McGrath puts the ball out, and now the substitution can be made. John Aldridge leaves the field, and great cheers for Tony Cascarino, who of course came on at Lansdowne Road and headed the equaliser against England in November, and comes to this fresh from 2 goals on Saturday in Aston Villa's 3-1 demolition of Sunderland. Quinn and Cascarino are now the spearhead. England with the throw. Beardsley. And Lineker turns. That's the first sniff he's had. Gary Lineker swivelling on a snapshot. Just got away from O'Leary for the first time. It's taken him 72 minutes. And he got underneath it. is this an indication that Ian Wright is about to make his entrance as Graham Taylor goes for broke? That was Platt, O'Leary, Houghton, Robson. It's come to Cascarino. McGrath, Houghton on the run. Lovely ball from McGrath, but Wright just there to intercept. Sharp in trouble. And having to go all the way back to Seaman. So Ian Wright lining up for his first taste of competitive action in an England shirt. Moran, McGrath, and that goes out of play. Throw to England to be taken by Pearce. Wright offered himself. And now it's Des Walker. Houghton. Walker. Cascarino hustling him. In came Irwin. Beat Platt, but Quinn was offside. Well, it looks like he's going to get his first big chance, Ian Wright. Won his first cap against Cameroon last month. And his mind will undoubtedly go back to May last year when he came on as a cup final substitute and scored 2 goals for Palace to send the game into a replay against Manchester United. Cockles and muscles resound again. Here's Barnes against Staunton. Dixon and Wright. And now the change is being made, and who's making way? Gary Lineker. This match punctuated with tributes to the Irish team, and this the latest of them. England's top current international goal scorer, Gary Lineker, leaves the fray to be replaced by Ian Wright of Crystal Palace, who's making just his second appearance in an England shirt. But a scorer of 2 cup final goals at this venue on May the 12th last for Crystal Palace. So, being used as something of a talisman by Graham Taylor. Some might say a last throw. Here's McGrath. Rolled for Irwin, who beat the offside trap. And for once, Dennis Irwin inaccurate with the cross. Mind you, he's had to keep his mind on other things. He's been preoccupied with defensive duties this evening and really hasn't had the opportunity to send in those teasing crosses. So Gary Lineker's illustrious career finds the chapter headed Republic of Ireland, March '91, is not another tale of glory. Quinn got the little touch on. Dixon putting it back to Seaman. And it's now 13 minutes to the end of this match. Look at that scoreboard. Staunton has come to Platt. Barnes trying to drill it through Paul McGrath. And it's McGrath once more. Quinn for Cascarino. And Cascarino still battling on. And it was Pearce who got back to take it off his toe and give Ireland a corner. And they were pulling and hauling at him all the way to the penalty area, but still he kept going, the big man. And now it's a corner to Ireland, which Kevin Sheedy will take. David O'Leary goes near post. Cascarino's in there. Quinn is rather further out to mount a charge towards the flighted ball. Sheedy's kick. Cascarino at the near post. Out off Pearce. Another corner. Once more it'll be Sheedy. This time O'Leary's at the near post. Not a good one, headed out by Barnes. With a sleight of foot by Houghton, throw to Ireland. And the corner count reads 7-3 in Ireland's favour, which tells its own story, as indeed does the expression on Graham Taylor's face. McGrath. That was Cascarino. It last touched right. It's a throw to Ireland. And Staunton to take. Cleared by Wright. Mark, that is. Back by Moran. Right against Quinn. Townsend. McGrath, ever available. Cascarino into the path of Houghton. Inches wide. He believed that was on its way. What a great run from a deep position. Picked out by Cascarino's header. And he tried to pick his spot. He had Seaman beaten, and it just went wide. And Jack was convinced that was on its way. Well, Graham Taylor knows he's been in a match and a half. And that incident occurred in the 80th minute of the contest. And here they come again. But it's Pearce instead to take it up for England. Beardsley looking for Barnes. And he got there. And he got the shot in. But he was offside. Now, was it Barnes or was it Wright who was offside? It was Wright who was offside. That would not have counted. But he hasn't had a kick either, really, has he? His first attempt at goal coming after 86 minutes. 81 minutes, rather. 36 of the second half. So 9 minutes to go. Beardsley. And Houghton, it would appear, has been penalised. Free kick to England. Pearce for Robson. McGrath, here comes Robson again. Cascarino. And Wright will see that back. Sheedy. Quinn. Townsend. Staunton, there was offside. It was Cascarino who had just strayed beyond the last man back. And it's played back to David Seaman to launch an attempt at the other end. Beardsley. Once more, McGrath to the rescue. Well, there's still tension aplenty in this fixture. But at this juncture, it's almost kind of enjoyable tension. Because the feeling is there that Ireland might yet do it. The Paul McGrath chant rings around Wembley. And here's Barnes. Staunton sticking with him. And he had to use Pearce. Sharp. Pearce. Townsend in on Robson. Sharp off his head and out for the throw. Just under 7 minutes to go. Lee Sharp hasn't really made his impact, but a 19-year-old introduced to the fray at this kind of level and in this kind of circumstance, it's asking an awful lot. And just listen to that crowd. It's all Irish. Sharp. Irwin with the challenge, and it's a throw to Ireland. Sharp wanted a free kick, but I think that was asking rather a lot. Irwin, Cascarino. On by Pearce, on by Sharp. A missed kick by O'Leary, a rare error. And the throw to England results. And they'll hurry on with it. Here's Pearce. Drilled in to the danger zone and cleared by Moran. Beardsley. Quinn was having a little go at him, and that has resulted in a free kick to England. Well, finally the English bands find their voice, try to lift their team to 5 minutes of supreme effort at the finish. Pearce, good looking free kick. Mark Wright goes up, Kevin Sheedy clears it. And now it's Beardsley again. Dixon facing Sheedy, finding no way past. Another throw to England. Just under 5 minutes to go. Stands as it did in Cagliari and as it did in Dublin. But here's Bonner having to punch. Houghton. And now Staunton with determination and caught by Dixon. And a free kick against the England fullback. Staunton none the worse for that collision. But Ireland have the free kick, and there are now just over 4 minutes to go. England 1, Ireland 1. Dixon beats Quinn to it. Beardsley beats Moran to it, but Townsend gets it back. Staunton. Collision between Wright and Houghton, and the free kick would have been awarded Ireland's way. And now it's Ireland's throw. Or is it? Some of the signals from Kurt Roethlisberger have been a touch on the ambiguous side. On that occasion, the appearance was that he was playing advantage, but then he stood as if he'd awarded the free kick. But the first appearance was the decisive one. Ireland's throw, Staunton with it. And Barnes to clear. In comes Moran. Up goes Cascarino. And it's Barnes in the right back position alongside Dixon. Returned by O'Leary. Quinn, lovely control. Had he only known that Houghton was arriving in support. 3 minutes to go at Wembley. England 1, Ireland 1. Pearce straight to Irwin. Now Houghton. McGrath out to the right. Close support from Townsend. Sheedy wants it centre circle. Cascarino out left. Dixon got in the way, but here comes Staunton. That was an optimistic attempt. And I would suggest that the whistling fans are England's. Moran slicing his kick. And Barnes getting Platt away. Barnes again. Platt once more. Barnes was reluctant to take on the responsibility. Staunton able to clear. The ball is out, though. The ball is out. And there are now just under 2 minutes to go. Wembley Stadium hasn't seen England rattled like this in a competitive fixture since 1983, when Denmark came and beat them 1-0 that September and effectively put them out of the '84 European Championship. And if this scoreline doesn't change, England could be facing elimination from Sweden next summer. It's Quinn releasing Houghton. Houghton turning past Pearce, bringing in Quinn. No offside as Irwin comes in. It's Sharp, and he's given away the corner. And there's just a minute to go. And Ireland have a corner. But they said the draw would suit Ireland better than England. And with those goals in the bag from the 5-0 victory over Turkey, if it stays as a draw, Ireland will stay top of the group. Sheedy to take this corner. Seaman with the fists, Houghton with a shot, cleared by Wright. Staunton from McGrath, Robson got there. Now it's Platt, Ian Wright, off goes Sharp, Staunton covering back. Sharp against O'Leary. O'Leary did the job superbly, and Staunton does the tidying up. Great game he's had. The game moves into injury time. The final whistle sounds, and Ireland have taken a point from Wembley, and that is surely a cause for great delight. And we could so easily be reporting on an Irish victory tonight, for Ray Houghton came so close in the second half, and Kevin Moran hit the upright in the first. England demoralised by an outstanding Irish performance. Yet another 1-1 draw, the third in a row. And that's 4 matches that England have failed to beat the Republic of Ireland, who must now move into the position of ever so slight favourites in this qualifying Group 7 of the European Championship. The opener, an unfortunate deflection off Steve Staunton from Lee Dixon's shot after only 9 minutes. It could have been disastrous, but it wasn't. An astonishing spell, 5 minutes of pressure, and these people got their reward. An outstanding goal from Niall Quinn after 27 minutes. 1-1 then, 1-1 it finished. And the boys in green go to applaud their magnificent supporters on the west end of Wembley Stadium. Jack Charlton makes a triumphant return to the scene of so many of his triumphs. But these 11 will go down in history as the team who bearded the lion in the lion's den. Niall Quinn with the all-important equalising goal, but a moral victory that counts as a point gained away from home, and England are the ones in deeper trouble. Republic of Ireland top Group 7 in the European Championship. Scenes of joy and delight at Wembley Stadium. Who could have believed this team had matured so much? England won, Ireland won.
Caused considerable problems for England.
Not just for England, you know, for everybody. It's been a hard battle, like we said. We've cancelled one another out in result terms, and now what we have to do is better. We have to do better than the Irish against the Turkey, and better than the Irish against Poland. So as far I see it as straightforward as that.
At the end, were you just a bit relieved, in fact, because the Irish really had the better chances, didn't they, to win the game?
Well, they did, they're coming in, but I think they were relieved that Lee Sharp's cross in the very last minute caught, in fact, their defender. So in that respect, you know, that's the end of it. I'm pleased, and perhaps Jack is as well, I'm pleased the 2 games are over in that sense. There was always a danger, I thought, that we'd cancel one another out result-wise.
Your defence was under considerable pressure in the first half.
Well, every defence is going to be, doesn't it? It doesn't matter. We played far too deeply, didn't push out at all. That, I think, is what disappointed me. We encouraged them just to knock balls into us and land them on top of us, and that was a disappointment, because I think we could have coped with that and should have coped with that better.
Were you disappointed that England didn't create more, in fact?
It's very hard to create. Very hard to create. I mean, you can be disappointed with a lot of things. But I mean, it's not just England against Ireland, it's a number of countries. It's not just England that find it difficult to play against the Irish, a lot of countries do.
So at the end of the day, you look ahead to the games to come.
The other thing about football, David, there's always another game.
Graham, thank you very much indeed. I think I've got Jack Charlton here with me as well. You must be delighted, Jack Charlton, with the result.
No, I thought we should have won. We missed two great chances in the second half to win the game, and I thought we should have won. I thought on the day's performance we were the better side.
And you almost seem to be inspired by the England goal early on.
Well, it was an unlucky goal. I mean, Stan could have cleared it, he was on his own, and he headed the ball out, the boy hit it, got a little ricochet and fitted. I mean, I thought it would have been unlucky to give the goal away. And but apart from that, we've created two marvellous chances, and we missed them.
Key moments in the game from your point of view?
Oh, when Kevin had the ball and it dropped on his right foot instead of his left. And Ray Houghton, when the goalkeeper to beat, and he put it wide.
So you look ahead now with optimism?
Oh, listen, we needed a result here today. We got it. We battled. We prepared for the game right. The lads did exactly what they were supposed to do. There's nobody got more commitment than the Irish, and I'm delighted with them. I mean, we'll play anybody. We don't care.
Jack, many congratulations. Thanks very much. Cheers.
He doesn't care. He was dead right. We should have won it. Let's have a look at the table now. We'll see it there. Republic of Ireland still at the top with 4 points. England second, and Poland playing us in Lansdowne Road on the 1st of May. And I would suspect, John Giles, after today's performance, that must be one of the great Irish performances, I think, under pressure, considering England scored so early.
Definitely. I think it was an excellent performance, and Jack was, in my opinion, quite right there when he was disappointed that they didn't win the match. They did have the better chances, they were the better side on the night, and they should have won it. Well, if an excellent, under the circumstances, it must be one of the best Irish performances, because they've gone to Wembley against England, who were expected to win by Graham Taylor, and they've come out of it well, and give a bad goal away, an unlucky goal away, and still should have won the match. And it's an excellent performance.
They really had 4.5 chances, if you go in Casperino's half chance of scoring, really, on top of the goal.
We slaughtered them. We absolutely slaughtered them. It was much worse in technical terms than the score sheet suggests. So Jack was dead right. Should have won. We slaughtered them in terms of our spirit, our organisation, our basic foundation of our team. Defensively, never altered from the beginning. Unlike them, they pulled the whole thing apart. And it was a classic exhibition, and there were some classic performances. A very, very memorable night.
Okay, and mind you, from the point of view of English football, a very bad result for Taylor as a strategist, wasn't it?
Taylor is a spoofer, and he could put Richard Branson's hot air balloon up, you know. he'll go down with a smile on his face, but he's all over the place.
Would he cross the Atlantic in it, though?
He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing, and I think we pointed out the faults before the game. He ended up bringing Wright on. He ended up changing his back four.
Astonishing to make such a fundamental change in the team. Really,
at half-time, you brought on a lad, Lee Sharp, you know, who, God love him, you know, at 19 years of age to go on and be asked to do a job and save your country, you know, when he's not capable of saving his club. It's not the way to introduce a player to international football. So what we see tonight really is, we see, without the Mick McCarthy factor at play, we see a glimpse, without Ronnie Whelan, perhaps our greatest player, we see a glimpse of what Ireland can be. And Ireland could play like that 9 times out of 10. That's the reassuring thing.
I think
can we have a look back at the goals now, and let's first look, John, at that English goal, and that really was a killer from our point of view, and completely against the run of the play, really, wasn't it?
Well, it's a terrible blow to get before the game has even settled down. And at that stage, England were playing reasonably well. They were playing well at that stage, and I was very fearful, I must say, at that stage. I thought, with the way the thing was going, it was an open game, which the Irish team doesn't usually allow the opposition that much room, and they scored a goal like that, and I thought England are going to play well here and maybe win easily. It was a dreadful goal to lose, really, because once you see this hit here, and Staunton's headed it, I mean, 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, that wouldn't, it wasn't even a particularly hard shot.
Here comes the Irish
very
goal.
bad luck.
Yeah.
A huge comparison here, Eamon.
Well, you say this comes at the end of an incredible spell of Irish pressure, and it's a beautiful cross from Paul McGrath, real quality, justifies placing in midfield, and there's a gorgeous touch. That's a real quality goal, and when you think of where those lads have had to come from, any team that was a bit fragile in their organisation and morale would have cracked, given a known goal away. That was a beautiful, sweet goal with real quality, and this is the thing that we have to establish in the Irish team, that the players are so gifted, and that they're not donkeys, and that they're not asses and they run around the place, that there's much more to the Irish team, and that there can be much more. And there's a beautiful touch. Any striker in the world, if that was Schillaci in Italy,
we'd be raving.
We'd be raving, and that's a lad.
I'll tell you what that shows too, Evan. Jack is very, very good defensively on fundamental things, and that was what should have been a fundamental cross to deal with from England's point of view when Quinn stuck it in the back of the net. It should have been. Now, Quinn stuck it in well, but should have been. Now, the difference between the two sides tonight was when Ireland put the ball over, they were in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah.
When we were under pressure in the second half, for similar situations where the ball came across, it was Kevin Moran getting ahead to it, David O'Leary getting led, because they were in the right position to attack the ball when it did come over. And that's the difference between the two sides.
Yeah. You were making the point, actually, that we were capable of doing from pressure what they just couldn't do.
Yeah, we see, what happened in the second half was they had a little surge and they came at us the way we came. But instead of us caving in, and we actually got the clearances away, our midfield players got the drop ball, we played it forward and we strung them out and knocked them back under the ropes. So it is basically a question of courage and basic understanding.
And some marvellous players, like Moran, for instance. Let's have a look at some of his action.
I mean, Kevin Moran was written off a few months ago and maybe wrote himself off. This is a marvellous player, and he's all over the pitch tonight, all night. You'll see Kevin Moran. Look, that's a wonderful header at a key moment in the game. If he doesn't get that touch, we could be 2-1 down. And all through the game, you see the way, you see Des Walker there, a classic player. 5 million Juventus offered for him, and he resorts to that 2 minutes into the second half. He's kicking the ball away, and Ireland have a comfortable. Now, in those situations in the first half, England weren't able to get the ball away the way we got it.
I'll tell you, sorry, Ian, if you stopped that film as a technician in football and showed the Irish players the positions they were in before that ball was kicked, it's almost classic good positions.
Yeah, right.
See, it's too late to get into a position when the ball is getting there. Yeah, defenders have to be in a position before the ball comes across to go and attack the ball. And that's where Ireland were great tonight. Kevin Moran was in a position to attack the ball. Even that last ball by Walker, as Eamon says, Irwin is running back to the goalkeeper comfortably in possession of it.
Yeah. It looks like nothing.
When you've got the three centre-backs and you've pushed the full-backs on, they get into unreal positions, the full-backs, and Irwin would not be in that position. If Jack had done what Taylor did and played the three centre-backs, you don't get into that position.
Let's have a look at one of the close shaves we had tonight, Sheedy.
It was a good chance. I wouldn't be too hard on him because the way the ball dropped, I mean, what you have to give the player credit for there is making the run to get into the position that made the chance, then the drop of the ball onto his bad foot. I wouldn't be too critical of him. I think, you know, these things happen and he's a left-footed player. He doesn't owe us anything. He scored an equaliser in Palermo.
Absolutely. What about O'Leary tonight?
O'Leary was magnificent and so was Moran. These are two guys, 33, 34 years of age, and they were both have been written out of Irish soccer history in one stage or another. And it proves what I think John wrote in one of the articles, what he writes a few weeks ago, that Kevin Moran should be getting to the best of his career now, and he was prematurely written off.
OK, let's have a look at Houghton's chance here, John. It's coming up late in the second half.
This was a great chance, and it was an excellent move from the Irish point of view. Good header. Sorry, he's come back out, and I think there's a good ball played into Cascarino. I think Cascarino gets a header. Yes, Paul McGrath gets a header down. Cascarino. That was a great chance for Houghton. And when you see the finish from behind the goal, it's a bad effort from a player who was on his good foot and he doesn't hit the target. It didn't even make Seaman save the ball. I think Jack, I saw him afterwards, I think he was a little bit annoyed that he didn't do a little bit better there, Ray Houghton. Again, a good run, a good knockdown. And if you look at that there, if he was going to hit it anyway there, he should have been hitting it with the outside of his right foot, which is easy to be wise for here. But it was a good chance. It was a clear-cut, and you want to be hitting the target from that position.
We must be looking good now for qualification.
Yeah, I think we will qualify. I don't see us getting losing games at all, anywhere. Once we keep that back four, it's very important that Captain Fantastic doesn't come back, in my view, and that's a very, very serious point.
Indeed, but it's very arguable one, I'd say, as far as the manager is concerned.
I think that you saw there in the Ray Houghton incident, that was the moment that England were dead and they were lucky not to be buried.
All right, we've got to leave it there, lads. Just let me remind you that the Man of the Match competition is on, of course. Our prizes and all expenses paid weekend in London for two, with tickets for the Phantom of the Opera on Friday night and for the FA Cup final on Saturday. All you have to do is name the Man of the Match from tonight's game and phone one of these numbers, 3016 010 or 3000-21010. And the lines are open until 6 p.m. on Sunday. And just remember, by the way, that it's all the players involved, not just the Irish players, though obviously I suspect that some of the Irish players will figure very prominently indeed. We got some results of the night for you now. Let me just go through them for you. European Championship Group 2, Scotland 1, Bulgaria 1. Group 2, there's the table. Scotland 4 matches, 6 points, and top there against Switzerland, and Bulgaria with 4 points at the bottom from 4 games. Group 4, Yugoslavia beat Northern Ireland very comfortably, 4-1. Northern Ireland were 1-1 at half-time, but beaten badly in the second half of Yugoslavia. Full points there at the top of the Group 4 table, with Denmark in second position, but a long way behind, even though they have a match in hand. Group 5, Belgium and Wales. Saunders, the scorer there for Wales, after Belgium had gone ahead. And Wales at the top of the table with 5 points after 3 games, but of course they played more matches than anybody else there in Group 5. Well, that's the end of our coverage of the soccer from Wembley. Marvellous night indeed for Ireland. 1-1 keeps us on top of the table. We were in fact unlucky, I think, as everybody would agree, that we didn't win by a more substantial margin. But we leave you now with the highlights of the goals of the night. Thank you for joining us.
But Irwin did his job. Barnes with a quick throw. Pearce. Staunton not getting it away far enough. Dixon shot. Oh, an own goal of Staunton. A disaster for Ireland after only 9 minutes. And Ireland's throw. This is Ray Houghton. McGrath. In goes Quinn. Yes, it's there. A goal taken with the super.
ah,